Good morning. My name's Christopher Weaver from Ascot Headshots, and this morning I would like to let you know that great things happen when you let great headshots happen even when you let go of the camera. But first of all, some background. What is a headshot? Well, this can be quite confusing for some people. Looking at their LinkedIn profiles, they do get this wrong. So a headshot is basically from the top of your head. It may or may not cut into your hair, depends if you've been blessed with a perfect head or whether you're like me and have to put some hair on the top of it to hide it. And it should finish around about the top of your sternum. So you see this young lady here. We've left a little bit of her hair in the top there, and it finishes just below the first button there. And that's about the ideal for a LinkedIn profile. And you need the subject engaged and looking at the viewer. And simple background. As Debbie has just said, for those of you who were here for the break out in the between whilst we're having coffee, she was saying, you know, if you've got a distracting background, people are going to be looking at that and not at you. So simple colour works best. And it's not to be confused with a business portrait. The two are two different beasts altogether. A business portrait is an image typically showing somebody in their work environment. That could be in an office, it could be somebody who works primarily out of their local cafe. It could be a chef in a kitchen, that sort of thing. And there's no restriction on whether it's just a head and shoulders, whether it's a half body, whether it's a full length. It's there to show them in their work environment. And usually you have enough detail in the background so you can see what their work environment is like, but out of focus enough so there's no real detail in there for you to be wandering around looking at the background. So a couple of examples of business portraits. Nice young lady there, looks like a corporate HQ she's working in, nicely lit. This gentleman, probably a data center that he's in, again another half body shot. And then this lady, she looks like she's prepping for a meeting, sitting in her local coffee shop. They're all good business portraits, but if you use those for your LinkedIn profile, nobody would be able to see your face because they're too small. The head in there is just too small for the LinkedIn. So moving on to LinkedIn, here's some facts to do with your profile picture. Your profile picture on any social media platform, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, is going to be the first thing your new suppliers and potential new clients will see. And why is that? Because it's your most seen image. Whenever you post, whenever you share, whenever you comment, whenever you like, a little version of that profile image pops up next to that like. So you've got to make it right and you've got to make it visible. And people make split-second decisions. Subconsciously, they will, with under a second, make decisions about people just based on their appearance. And although we think some of us live in a liberal world, unfortunately that subconscious bias is there. And a stat from LinkedIn itself is you are 14 times more likely to have the rest of your profile viewed if you have a profile image. Not one of those coat hangery things, not one of those logos. That doesn't interest people because people want to work with people. Facial expressions. Now that's a very important thing to have in your profile image because you want to look confident, approachable and trustworthy. Now, did you know there are 42 individual muscles that are controlling your expression? There are a few people, just as a side, there are a few people who can control each one of them individually. They are very, very special people. And often work in universities where they analyse facial expressions. I've never met one. I'd love to meet one, but I've never met one. So these 42 muscles are generally controlled by your subconscious. And if I said to you now, if you're just looking at my presentation, you've got no idea what your faces look like. When you do try to control them, you'll just get a distorted version of what it is you're trying to achieve. So if I said to you now, smile, and I'm looking at the grid, you will only be smiling by moving, potentially just moving your mouth. You won't be smiling using the other muscles in your face. So some real smiles. You may recognise one or two of these people, a couple of Omni members in here. So these are genuine smiles captured during one of my headshot sessions. Now they're not necessarily good LinkedIn profile pictures because they're perhaps over smiley, but just to demonstrate, you know, the smile isn't just coming from the mouth, it's also coming from the eyes, it's coming from the forehead, it's coming from the eyebrows. All of that goes into making a proper facial expression. So when you get a camera out, your phone out to take a selfie and you go smile, the chances are you're only going to be moving your mouth. So you're not going to look genuine. So let go of that camera. And I don't mean drop it on the floor. I mean give it to somebody else. Selfies will never ever produce a genuine, authentic facial expression. Unless you just want your resting bitch face and you just go snap. And that's not going to attract anybody's any business for you. So relax, give control of that camera or phone to someone else, preferably a professional headshot photographer who's not only going to take a good picture because he's got good lighting, he knows how to put you in a relaxed position, and he knows how to get a facial expression out of you without saying say cheese and smile, and you know, just somebody who can get you to look great in front of the camera. And don't force that expression. Don't try too hard to be something that you're not. A good headshot photographer is going to just get a shot straight of you that's natural. But, I hear you say, I don't like having my picture taken, or I'm not photogenic. Well, 80% of my clients say that to me. 80%. So the chances are most of you who are in this room would also say, I don't like having my picture taken. I'm not very photogenic. So, now no laughing here, because I'm going to show you some examples of some real people I've photographed who are nervous, not photogenic, or they don't think they're photogenic, or they don't like having their picture taken. So we're going to start with a nervous client. Now, does she look like a nervous client? This is what she had to say. I was nervous about having my professional headshot taken and what the results would be. Christopher immediately put me at ease, took some brilliant headshots. I would recommend his services. I had another client who didn't like having a picture taken. It took me 3 months working on her to get her to get in front of my camera. Eventually she gave in, and this is one of the results that we produced. By the end of the session, she was owning that camera. She was loving it. She was having a real ball. And this is what Hannah had to say. Professional and welcoming, Christopher executed so many great shots of me, it was hard to narrow them down. What a great problem to have. I would recommend Chris to anyone looking for professional, smart headshot, which also shows your personality. And she is this bubbly sort of person. So I just don't understand why she thought why she didn't like having her picture taken. And then finally, a client who didn't think they were photogenic. Does that look like somebody who's not photogenic to you? Adrian said, I was very pleased to get my headshot done from Christopher Weaver for my LinkedIn profile. I'm not naturally very photogenic. I disagree. But Christopher took the time to help me relax, and I would highly recommend his services. So I'm going to finish you with one little tip. If you can't get to me, I can recommend good headshot photographers across the country. Um, However, here's the tip: how to position your headshot for your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn gives you a great little tool. When you put a new headshot profile image up there, it gives you this little grid to position your face in. Try and get the top line. I don't know whether you can see my cursor here. The top line somewhere between the centre of the eyes and the top of the eyebrows. Now you can see those four faces there. No two faces are the same size, so there's no hard and fast rule, but it's a general guide. Hannah there has actually quite a short face, where I've got a much longer face. So position the top third somewhere between the centre of the eyes and above the eyebrows, and then position the bottom third somewhere between the lower lip and the bottom of the jaw. And then you'll have a great position of your picture for your LinkedIn profile, even if you want to just go and update your current one until such time you can get a better one taken. And that's it. That's me done. Any questions?